Yo, what is up, my fellow mercenaries? Mark at the Game Boy here. And I would like to start off this video by thanking Dean Dodrill from Humble Hearts LLC for giving me a review copy of this game. Very first time I'm doing something like this, so I would like to thank you for giving me the chance to review your game and get an early look at it. Now, this game is not new by any means. It came out on the Xbox Arcade back in 2012, and it has since seen a release on mobile, PS3, and PS4. But this is the first time that I've seen it on a Nintendo console, so I reached out to Dean on Twitter once I saw that he was giving out review copies. And the game that I'm going to be discussing is Dust and Elysian Tale. And I had never heard of this game before, and it had critically acclaimed success when it launched on Xbox. But this is my first experience with it. This is my opinions and my opinions alone, so this isn't sponsored or anything, so don't worry about that. Now, the first point I want to touch on is the fact of the art style for this game. The sprites and all that are hand-drawn, and it just adds so much to the game. It looks absolutely beautiful, and it's something that's missing in a lot of indie titles like this is like a beautiful art style like that. It's so unique compared to what a lot of the games on the market right now are, especially on the Switch, where it's an indie machine and you have a lot of games that have a similar art style. Well, this kind of takes that and flips it on its head because the art style is so unique compared to anything else I've played, and it's truly a treat to look at. The animations are all very fluid, and the game is just, you stop and look at it and the game looks beautiful. Also, I want to emphasize the fact, with this being an indie title, this game was all developed single-handedly by Dean Dodrill, and he did all the art for it. He developed it. The only thing that he contracted somebody else out for was the voice acting, and that is truly remarkable to me as a budding developer who is currently studying information systems at my university. That is amazing, the fact that he was able to get this accomplished by himself, because I have tried to develop games in the past, but it is definitely a challenge when you don't have a team behind you. And Dean took that challenge and he ran with it, and I seriously respect that. The next point I want to touch on is the combat. The combat system is amazing. From the very beginning, it feels very fluid, and the combat system is rewarding. And the main thing that I love about the combat here is the fact that as you progress in the game, so does your combat abilities. You end up progressing with your abilities. We're normally in a game like this, eventually you see everything and then your combat becomes stale. In Dust, they take that and they kind of flip it, because as you progress, you earn new abilities and new combos, stuff like that. So combat becomes less of a chore, and it's exciting. What am I going to unlock next? What is the next thing waiting for me? And it truly adds to the, when you're playing and you end up going for a few more hours because you want to see what else there is that you can unlock and how you can progress as your character. Now, this game also implements some RPG elements. They're not extremely prominent, so don't be expecting something like Final Fantasy or Xenoblade, something like that. But it's got minor RPG elements that are kind of a nice touch, but at its core, this game is a beat-em-up game, and if you're a fan of beat-em-ups and Metroidvanias, well, this is the perfect love child between the two of them, and I have absolutely enjoyed the hell out of this game so far in my about 5 or 6 hour playthrough. The difficulty is the next thing I want to touch on. This game does a nice job of not artificially increasing difficulty, but keeping it where it's not like you're just breezing through. If you know what you're doing and you can time things right, then you should have no problem. But if you make a mistake, this game makes sure that you know you made a mistake. And that is something that is missing in a lot of modern games, where they're more hand-holding in nature, and they make it where it's okay to fail. In this game, you don't have a lot of health. Obviously there's upgrades, but you mess up, say you're fighting a giant and you mess up, you're gonna die. I mean, I play on normal difficulty and you fuck up and that's it. You're back to the last save point. And I miss that kind of harshness in video games, and I appreciate it here. But yeah, overall this game is an absolute joy to play, and I know that it's had past releases, so why should you buy it on the Switch? The controls are amazing and extremely fluid. There is little to no input lag whatsoever from my what I played. The only discrepancy that I will have is At one point, when I was in like a big combo and going through a bunch of animations on screen, I noticed a slight frame dip. It only happened once in my entire playthrough so far, but I just thought that was a point to note. But otherwise, this game runs extremely well on the Switch. Like, it's honestly one of those games that's perfect to Switch. Whether like art style, the fact of save points being not too far apart, so it's one of these games that you can pick up, play for say 20 minutes, and save and put it back down and come back later. Whereas like bigger games, you have it where you have to play for extended periods of time, and not everybody has that. So it really works with the portable nature of the Switch, where you can pick it up, play it in short bursts, and then come back to it later. And I absolutely love that about games on Switch. And a lot of indie developers are realizing this, and it like making their games adhere to that is the fact of recognizing your audience. So I will rate this game an 8.5 out of 10. It is an absolute joy to play, and if you're looking for something to fill that gap until Smash Bros. Comes out in December, this is a great game to pick up and give a chance to. If you have not played it on any of the previous releases, I highly, highly recommend playing it on the Switch because, like I said, the combat is great, the art style is great, the controls are great, and it's just a joy to play. I cannot say enough good things about this game. The game will release in North America and Europe and Australia on September 10th for $15 on the eShop, and Limited Run Games is also doing a limited physical release. So if you want a physical release, get that before they're gone. And yeah, if you're an indie developer, or you know somebody that's an indie developer, please message me here on Twitter, and I will discuss with you about doing a review for your game or something like that, because I'm trying to break into the space on YouTube. Just let me know, and we will work something out. That's all I got for you guys. Have a nice day.